Be a hell of a trial.
Better report.
Oh, so grand jury. Yeah. So what do you got?
I just want to kick things off if you have any injury updates.
The only update. You go ahead. If you're going to sit down, that's fine. The only injury, no injury update. The only update for the game, Jelani Tavai will be, he'll be out for the game. That'll be non-injury related. That's something personal, and that'll be all that I'll talk about at this time. So that's the only update I have for you.
And I wanted to follow up. It seems like Joe Burrow could be playing. He's listed as questionable. How has that changed anything?
It hasn't. I mean, the stuff that they've always done and will do, is going to remain the same. I mean, Joe's probably or is more mobile than what Joe is. Both, are going to run the same concepts and the same plays and look to try to get the ball in the same places. I would imagine that Joe being a little younger and is going to be a little bit more mobile, but we'll have to be ready for whatever happens Sunday.
With uncertainty, do you think there's any gamemanship over there from Cincy with not announcing their starting quarterback?
No, I mean that's their. They haven't elevated them or activated them off of the IR. So I mean, again, whatever they decide to do, they decide to do.
Mike, we were talking with Zach Core yesterday about how Zach Taylor likes to kind of unstick receivers when they expect man, and he mentioned stacks and bunches. I'm curious, when you guys are in the tight red zone, how do you decide when you want to, lock and level certain times or combo those things heading into a game?
Maybe route concepts or sometimes things that we've shown. There's different ways to try to self-scout and see how you've done those things, whether they're motion into it or line to it.
We talked a lot about Drake's leadership over the offseason and during training camp. How have you seen him continue to grow in that area during the regular season?
I think it's improving. I think it's things we're always trying to work on, whether that's as a coach or as a player, is the things and the impact that we have on the football team that aren't physical, that maybe somewhat are emotional, and our ability to reach players. And Drake's a part of that and working hard at it. And again, there's a lot of, I would say as a quarterback or a head coach, there's a lot more people that you have to impact and reach. And so I think that whether that's a skill player or running back or an offensive lineman, those are all just different personalities. So it's getting to know all those guys and what are things that they'll respond to.
You mentioned that both the head coach and the quarterback sort of share that responsibility. Is that something that you talked to him about and ways to effectively do that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think in our own personality, in our own way, we've talked about this ad nauseum. We're different people. I think you guys didn't take you long to figure that out. But again, he has to impact, our organization off the field just the same as he has to on the field. That's what you sign up for when you're a starting quarterback in the National Football League.
He's got good continuity on the offensive line so far. How have you just seen that unit gel together as a whole throughout the season?
We've had good stretches. We've had some plays we'd like to have back, and the only thing that matters is what they do on Sunday. And that's we've had good continuity, like you mentioned. Try to maintain and get guys ready, making sure that the guys behind them are ready. But the only thing that matters is what they do on Sunday and how they play against the Bengals and what they're going to be able to do to us.
What did you see from Ramondre this week as he nears his return?
I would say that there wasn't many restrictions and that he responded well to the practice. And, I would say that as long as there are not any setbacks here, that he'd be in line to play. Michael, you got anything?
That's what I was going to ask.
You don't have another follow-up?
I was going to ask you about, Tavai set the tone on special teams, I thought, last game. You got some other options to help fill that void?
Yeah. I mean, we've got some, bigger bodied guys, and, Swinson and Ponder, Otis Reese could come up from the practice squad. And I would say Anthony's done that, is to try to play physical and be big on the kickoff. And you go down there, you see him at the point of attack sometimes, and creating, some disruption and making sure that happens. And, really at this point in the season, it's all hands on deck for everything that we're trying to do.
Mike, you guys have had great health this year, knock on wood. How much, if anything, is different from when you were working with Frank in your last years at Tennessee to kind of the program you have now?
Not a whole lot. I mean, again, these things kind of come and go, and there's going to be some injuries that we're just not going to be able to avoid. And like I tell everybody, the injury rate in the National Football League is 100%. If you play long enough, you're guaranteed to get hurt. I'm glad, and I think the biggest thing is that when injuries happen, or the players doing everything that they can to get back, and again, that's a testament to them. It's a testament to the training staff and the strength and conditioning staff that they can get them back in a short amount of time. And I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say that there's some magic formula. There's just not. And I think that when the players are able to stay healthy and stay on the field and help us, that's a positive. And when they can't, then we have to do everything that we can to get them back as quickly as possible in order to help the football team. And so that's what we're focused on.
Mike, for a guy like Andy and the job that he stepped into this year, how many conversations do you have with Jeremy week to week about his preparation and how he's getting used to the NFL workload? Or do you go and have those conversations one-on-one with Andy just to check in on him and where he's at?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm always trying to talk to those guys and, monitoring how many kicks and how many times we're kicking each week. And I mean, it's not like that's a pretty violent action when you're talking about kicking and the kickoffs in the game and seeing how they respond. And do we kick on Thursdays? Just trying to find different things that when they don't kick on Wednesday, what's the mental approach? What's the, this field goal protection is something that's critical. And so making sure that we practice that every day so that Andy has confidence that guys aren't going to come through. I mean, there's 4 kicks blocked every week, it seems like. So we don't want to be victim to that. So we try to practice it, and then just his ability to mentally approach seeing the snap and seeing the hold and whatever it is he's doing and planting, and he may not, physically kick it, but I think that's the biggest thing, is just mentally being in the right spot.
Jared Wilson mentioned he changed up his stance last week based on some advice you gave him. I'm curious, what led to that advice, and what are the advantages of a 2-point versus a 3-point stance?
It wasn't advice. It was a suggestion to try to help the player. That's all.
We talked to you a couple weeks ago about team speed, the importance of team speed, and that you guys have kind of flashed over the course of the year. Did a quick poll in the locker room. 3 names came up as the fastest guys on the team: Marcus Jones, Kyle, and Trevion. Do you have a vote? Like, what do you have? Who are the 2 fastest guys?
No, I think that the speed that I'm focused on now is the speed in which we recover mentally from a positive play or a negative play. And I think that's the speed that I'm focused on, is as the head coach, how do I get us back to neutral? How do I get us back prepared for the next situation?
Are you a big momentum guy, Mike? Because I love, recover from a positive play. That's so different. Are you a kind of guy that's like, we always got to ride this kind of middle ground, or do you like to ride the momentum of good plays?
I think that you have to be able to build the momentum, and take advantage of it. And if you don't have it, you have to try to create it. And I don't think that, but I don't think that you can be too high, or, you just have to focus on what's happening next. But certainly, these positive plays, and, whether that's on offense or defense or the kickoff team is covering it, but that's something that has to be built. You can't doesn't carry over. Momentum doesn't carry over. It's something that's got to be built.
How does having a guy like Keyshawn Booty help the offense from week to week?
Well, I think he's a calming You know what I mean? He's got a different personality. He's kind of, you know, there's a calmness to him, and I appreciate that. I think that there's confidence with the quarterback. I think he's got, you know, it's contested catch. I think he's shown the ability to do that. He's strong at the catch point, you know, with DBs that are going to be, you know, on body. So I think that helps. So it's good to see him execute early in the year. We talked about some of the 5-minute stuff, staying in bounds, and, you know, being somebody that's reliable.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.